this entire house is just for us.
It's gonna be nice, you're gonna be happy.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Daily Movie Channel. This time, we've prepared 10 haunted horror movies and series on Netflix that are guaranteed to send chills down your spine. Before we dive into this creepy list, make sure you've hit the subscribe button so you don't miss our latest recommendations. Alright, let's get straight into it. Number 1. The Ritual. A terrifying journey through the wild forests of Sweden becomes the core of The Ritual, which follows 4 longtime friends, Luke, Phil, Dom, and Hutch. They decide to go on a hiking trip as a tribute to their friend who was killed in a tragic robbery a year earlier. What starts as a bonding experience quickly turns into a nightmare when they choose to take a shortcut through a dense forest to avoid the longer trail. The story sharply shows how guilt and past trauma can make an already dangerous situation even worse. The horror shifts into both psychological and physical terror when they begin to find strange symbols, ritualistically hung animal carcasses, and an old wooden cabin hiding a creepy headless statue. Tension between the 4 friends escalates as supernatural forces begin to manipulate their deepest fears, especially Luke's guilt over their friend's death. Number 2. Post House. Claustrophobic psychological terror is at the heart of Post House, which focuses on the experience of 2 customer service workers, Claire and her co-worker, who work at a remote mail processing facility. Their dull routine suddenly turns intense when they start receiving mysterious letters and senderless packages filled with disturbing messages. The narrative slowly builds an atmosphere of paranoia, showing how an isolated workplace can turn into a mental prison. The tension rises as unexplained events begin to occur, creating a clash between logic and primal fear in the silence of the night. The relationship between the 2 co-workers starts to fall apart due to suspicion and overwhelming mental pressure from total isolation. Every dark corner becomes a new source of anxiety, forcing them to question the safety of a place they once considered normal. Number 3. The Maid. Dark secrets behind the luxury of a mansion take center stage in The Maid, which follows Joy, a new housemaid. She works for a wealthy family consisting of Uma, Nira, and their young daughter, who suffers from a mental disorder. From the moment she arrives, Joy feels an eerie atmosphere and is haunted by visions of the previous maid, who mysteriously disappeared. The story slowly builds supernatural horror mixed with puzzling domestic intrigue. Joy begins investigating the truth behind Ploy's disappearance, the former maid who had an unusually close relationship with the homeowner. The conflict peaks when Joy's fear turns into cold anger, triggering a drastic transformation from a submissive servant into someone demanding justice. Number 4. Mary Ann.
Et je respecte toujours mes promesses.
Chilling horror and past trauma are tightly woven in Mary Ann, a series centered on Emma Larsimon, a successful horror novelist. Emma realizes that the evil witch character she created, Mary Ann, is not just fiction, but a real entity that has haunted her since childhood. When she decides to stop writing, the terror only grows stronger, forcing her to return to her hometown of Eldon. The story powerfully shows how fiction can become a gateway for dark forces to enter the real world. Emma reunites with her childhood friends and faces the truth that Mary Ann's curse has destroyed the lives of people around her. She must confront Mary Ann, who possesses other people's bodies, unleashing brutal psychological and physical terror to force Emma to keep writing her story. Number 5. Midnight Mass.
The more that we know, the less we bet.
Mysterious religious phenomena and strange transformations lie at the heart of Midnight Mass, set on the isolated fishing community of Crockett Island. The story begins with Riley Flynn returning home after serving time in prison, coinciding with the arrival of a charismatic young priest named Father Paul. Soon after, unexplained miracles begin to occur, reigniting the residents' fading faith. The narrative deeply explores the relationship between belief, miracles, and the price of eternal life. The conflict highlights sharp philosophical debates about redemption and how fanaticism can blind people to very real evil. Number 6. The Fall of the House of Usher.
It's time.
The collapse of a sinful family dynasty is the focus of The Fall of the House of Usher, a limited series that adapts Edgar Allan Poe's classic works into a modern setting. The story centers on Roderick Usher, a powerful pharmaceutical CEO, as he watches all 6 of his children die tragically and mysteriously in a short period of time. Amid grief and looming legal trouble, Roderick invites his old enemy, prosecutor C. Auguste Dupin, to hear his confession about the family's dark history. The series highlights psychological tension between late regret and the unavoidable consequences of a blood oath. Number 7. Incantation.
下来哦，快点下来，坏坏！
你牵到它才会出去。
The horror of breaking ancient taboos drives Incantation, presented in a found-footage format. The story follows Ronan, a mother trying to protect her young daughter from a deadly curse she accidentally activated 6 years earlier. Ronan's past is revealed when she and a group of ghost hunters violated sacred rules inside a forbidden tunnel belonging to her family clan, triggering a series of tragic deaths. The film vividly portrays a parent's desperation when trapped by the consequences of past mistakes. The supernatural terror goes beyond physical apparitions, manifesting as mental disturbances and strange illnesses that slowly ravage Dodo's body. Feeling responsible, Ronan documents everything and even asks viewers to help chant a mysterious spell to ease the curse. Number 8. His House. Refugee trauma and deep guilt shape the horror of His House, which follows Boal and Rial, a refugee couple from South Sudan. After surviving a deadly sea journey and losing their daughter, they are granted asylum in England and placed in a run-down house on the outskirts of London. However, their hope for a new life is quickly disturbed by strange occurrences within the walls. The story powerfully shows how past trauma can manifest as something that haunts physical reality. The tension grows when they realize the house is inhabited by a night witch, or Apith, an entity from their cultural beliefs that demands redemption for the sins they committed while escaping the war. Number 9. The Haunting of Bly Manor.
There you are. Now let's
A tragic love story and fading memories form the heart of The Haunting of Bly Manor, set in a grand English countryside estate in the 1980s. The story begins when Dani Clayton, a young American nanny, is hired to care for 2 orphan children, Miles and Flora, after their previous caretaker's tragic death. Carrying her own trauma, Dani soon realizes the mansion hides dark secrets and spirits trapped in endless time loops. The tension increases as Dani starts seeing mysterious figures, including a man with glowing glasses and a faceless woman emerging from the lake. It's revealed that the house is bound by an ancient curse, causing anyone who dies there to slowly lose their memories and identity. The conflict emphasizes the characters' struggle to hold on to love and selfhood against the mansion's powerful spiritual pull. Number 10. The Haunting of Hill House.
if I dream that you sent us away into the dark and me get hurt. Really?
Family tragedy and lifelong childhood trauma define The Haunting of Hill House, which follows the lives of the 5 Crane siblings. The story moves between 2 timelines: their past living in the haunted Hill House and the present, where they are adults still haunted by those memories. Their mother's mysterious death in the house decades earlier remains an unhealed wound, affecting their mental health and relationships. The story intensifies when a new tragedy forces the family to reunite and face the darkness they've long avoided. Each sibling processes trauma differently, from denial to heightened sensitivity to spirits. The house is revealed to be more than a building. It's an entity that feeds on grief and fear, highlighting the emotional battle between adult logic and very real childhood horror. Those are 10 haunted horror movies and series on Netflix, ready to keep you company at night. Which one do you think is the scariest? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to Daily Movie for more exciting videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.